Hi, today I'm going to guess the last 5 moves of the game between Giri and Vitiugov from 2012. It was a Sicilian opening where Giri actually just sacrificed the exchange in hopes for compensation on the dark squares. But Vitiugov doesn't even take the exchange right away, but first makes some developing move. But Giri is really insisting on this exchange sacrifice and doesn't even try to move it away, and it's finally taken. Of course, here black cannot castle, and white has some compensation. Although I find it kind of hard to believe that white should still sacrifice the rook here. Well, okay, rook b1 is probably not so good in view of queen takes a2, but well, let's quickly check what the engine has to say. Engine gives equality here after queen d3, but doesn't like f4 very much. Okay. Well, okay, but still, of course, black has compensation. White has compensation as king is in the center, and that bishop on d7 is a really poor piece. And here he comes, e6, sacrificing but taking on g7. Now Vitiugov gives back the exchange, trying to relieve some of the pressure. But now Giri is a clear pawn up. Oh no, he's not a pawn up, but he soon will be. But he has still the black's king is very unsafe here against rook and queen together. And here actually the b4 pawn will be lost as a check, 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 and then you finally take it, and we arrive at this technical queen endgame, which they move around a little bit. And eventually, this is somewhat strange. Well, somewhat of a bad sign if black has to trade the a5 pawn for the c6 pawn, because that c5, the c passed pawn for white is a real monster. And here we are, we're guessing the five last moves for Giri in this position, where it seems to me that white is completely winning after just pushing down the c pawn. I don't really see a black defense against c6. I mean c6, c7, c8, queen. Black should try to give some kind of perpetual check. Say after c6, a move such as queen e1, already threatening a perpetual on h4 and e1. But white can always play king h3 there, although maybe not, because there are a lot of checks there. Queen h1 check or queen e3 check. Maybe matters aren't that simple after c6. Queen e1 looks like the best try for black for certain. Also, white may play queen g3 there, and the pawn endgame should be lost, because the h and c pawn cannot be stopped both together, and the black's counterplay with the a pawn would be too slow. Yes, so after c6, queen e1, queen g3, black cannot take the queen, and he doesn't have any checks, and c7 looks bad for black. Okay, you can play something like queen c1, getting behind the c pawn, but still c7 will be played. And it looks really good for white. Are there also alternatives? I mean, queen g3 might not be the best move even. After c6, queen e1, white may also try queen f4, which attacks a pawn and protects h4. Pretty much forces a move such as, say, king e6 or king f6 to protect the f-pawn, because you really can't just give away the f-pawn. And then c7 anyway. Yeah, so, okay, so I'm gonna put some moves on the board. There might be there might be another move than queen e1, which I was looking at so far, and queen f4 looks the strongest to me. Not allowing any checks and picking up the f-pawn, as well as promoting the c-pawn. So this looks hopeless for black actually. So we should look again here if black has some alternative tries. Well, it has to be really something with checks, because the c-pawn, you cannot, if you don't have counterplay against the king, you will never, you cannot stop the c-pawn. But maybe a move such as queen to here, also threatening perpetual check, while not allowing queen f4. However, this is hard to believe that it is enough for black. For example, I also see a move that might have been possible before Whoopi did. Oh, no. C-pawn is under attack as well. I didn't. So queen a4 is actually probably a more better defense than queen e1, because we can't just move away with the queen protecting our h-pawn, because the queen will take on c6. So we can give some checks always, but it's not that clear what it actually. If we can ever give the check here and then push, it's actually looking fairly strong, as black should not have a perpetual check here. Or maybe he does. Maybe he does. We can't really play g3. And coming out seems very much like a perpetual check, although it's not 100% sure. Does feel like a perpetual check, but yeah, I don't see where the king should hide. That's nothing. So after queen a4, I believe this is what was played. It's not that easy for white. Okay, check seems reasonable. Also, he could go to g6 with the king black here, but then probably queen e6 check, after which we can take on f5, which looks good. So we don't want to allow white to take on f5. Check here. Okay, we don't necessarily need to give this check. So how do we win after queen a4? It's not obvious to me. Shouldn't be that difficult though, but queen endgames are notoriously tricky. Notoriously tricky. How to do this? kind of hard. So maybe that's the trick, and we just don't play c6 here, but first improve our queen. But it's, I mean c6 looks right, but okay, we can give a check first, and then play this, but that's just move order, that's just transposition, and we're in the same position again. In that same position. This is so okay. Maybe this just isn't perpetual. But I really don't see it. I mean, there is no progress to be made, and after g3 the perpetual is immediate, right? So we would need to try this, but I have a really hard time believing this. Maybe this is better. Why doesn't matter? Yeah. I really don't see where the king can ever hide. I mean, this is okay. So something like this would be probably bad for black, because if when the king reaches like c8 or so, then black would probably run out of checks. But not just doubt. That's maybe better, because now we can always check from here. Just kind of just doubt that black can really march up with the king. Maybe he can. And this is really a problem for black. Oh, this would actually be checkmate. Let's not blunder checkmate. So here you need to go back. Ah, okay, so that's just a dead draw, right? Yeah. Because if you cannot ever go forwards, I mean this. Oh, this is winning. Wow. No, I'm completely not sure. So if in this position that isn't a perpetual check, then we have to go for this with white. Oh God. My lack of queen endgame practice shows. But yeah, I'm guessing c6 and what we just said. I didn't really see a perpetual check, but yeah, whatever. I don't see a better way, honestly, for white, although there probably is one. Queen d7, okay, queen d7, king f6, and now c6. It was a transposition we saw. But no, he gives another check on queen c6. So this was played, and then here. What's the point of having the queen on c6 instead of anywhere else? No clue I have. What was the point of this? Maybe he wants to play h5 now. I don't know. Really don't know. Or queen b7 check and then c6. No. That's wrong. Oh, unless we can trade, we can force the queen trade after queen b7 check. After queen b7 check, actually, black cannot go up because we have queen b6 check. Winning immediately. Yes, winning the pawn endgame for sure. Winning the pawn endgame because the h pawn will be faster than the a pawn. So black will need to go down somewhere. Down, that's never good. Say here. Yeah. Ah, but oh, now we pick up the f pawn. Yeah, that's the game. That's what happened. Queen b7 check, followed by queen c8 check, picking up f5. That's what happened. Queen g8, queen c8 check, queen takes f5. Yep. So that was the end of the game. Yeah, I completely missed this idea. Queen g8, g7. And here Vitiugov resigned, as he is down too many pawns. Here it's fairly simple win now. Although again, still you have to watch out for perpetual checks. So of course, white's completely winning here. That was obvious. But how is the question? That's pretty nice maneuver here from a human point of view, because now this isn't possible. Or, well, if you would try it, you would really try it with this move. But still it's not possible because takes, and you have to go here. And now this is just too slow for black. Too slow by even 2 tempi. So that's not even a consideration. However, what I actually wonder is, what is with c6? Yeah, c6 really isn't all that good, although still probably winning. So, and that's what I wanted to try. Ooh, and it's a perpetual check. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it. Yeah, well, whatever it looked like, I had no clue. So let's see why this is a perpetual check. Only queen f4. Okay, this is the most natural. Here, everything is a perpetual. Didn't we see it? That was ridiculous, or what? Yeah, we actually saw that. We saw it, right? Oh, queen b5. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we saw that we can't go up because of mate, so. What exactly was my idea here? Oh, my idea was this. And then I saw that this check doesn't work because the queen interposes, but just this check. Check. Yeah. Yes, that's a perpetual. So, quite embarrassing to be able to miss the win in this position. This is really bad. Wow. Instead, the nice maneuver that was played by Giri wrapped up the game. Thanks for watching.